You know what? I'm still gonna run with this video. It started off as like this crazy, incredible, oh my goodness, we just discovered something massive, but then it wasn't, but hey, it's still a pretty good discussion. So what am I talking about? Well, let's check out this tweet from Roy. Hey, just wondering if you noticed on Pokemon Quest that you cannot name your Mewtwo Mewthree, but you can literally name it anything else. No, I didn't notice that. So let's see what's going on right here. So I can head on over to my Mewtwo, which is currently in my party, and then we can try to change its name to Mewthree. And that would be really crazy. It's like, oh, I can't name Mewtwo Mewthree. Why would that be possible? Unless it's supposed to be like in the game files somewhere or something like that. But I can name it Mewthree. However, he can't. That name cannot be used for some strange reason. I do this on mobile version. So mobile has a strange name gate for Mewthree, and then my thought was, well, what about just naming Pokemon other Pokemon names? Because that would be like a pretty big way of seeing if this works. Well, you can name your Mewtwo Mew. Let's try something different, like Ekans, you know, just a random Pokemon. Can I name my Mewtwo a different Pokemon? Now, technically you can do this in the games, it's illegal in VGC, but it looks like there's no barrier to just kind of doing whatever you want, and that's also what Roy has discovered. Can you just name a Pokemon like naming Mew, Mewtwo, or Pikachu, Charmander? Yes. That's why I thought it was kind of strange. So that makes it weird, because it's like debunked, since I can name it Mewthree, but he can't. But you can name Pokemon other names. So even if Mewthree was supposed to be this like forbidden secret Pokemon or something, well, that's kind of weird, because like why would I be able to name my Pikachu Mew or my Mew Mewtwo, but I couldn't name anything else Mewthree? Like that just draws a lot of strange suspicion. And when he said literally anything else, I guess that's what he meant. Now, kids, you know, if you're a young age, you know, we're about to get a little PG-13 because you're allowed a couple swear words. But I wonder what this is. Okay, so that name cannot be used. So for some reason, the profanity filter is different in the mobile game and picks up on Mewthree over Mewtwo. Also, I'm going to see if Google's deep learning algorithm can determine that and then actually demonetize this video, and then it goes right back to Ekans and not even Mewtwo. So that's some pretty wild stuff. Now, what if Mewthree is the secret guaranteed Pokemon that we have in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Because that's kind of all the buzz right now. We're waiting for Pokemon World, we're waiting for that trailer, we're waiting for something that says new Pokemon. Like, what is this? We'll meet a special Pokemon, and we get a little bit of a teaser all the way back to May 29th, and we got our first footage of these games, and then it was even confirmed. Even more news, trainers. The special Pokemon reference at the end of the Let's Go trailer is referring to a Pokemon never seen before, and we kind of got a good amount of traction. So yeah, there's a guaranteed new Pokemon. We're all waiting for it. We don't know what it is, but for the most part, the discussion has been Generation 8 Pokemon, or new evolution, or new evolution of an existing Kanto Pokemon. But what about Mewthree? Oh, wait, not even that. Like, also mythical Pokemon. Like, oh, Generation 8 mythical seems like the most likely, since Magearna was done like that. Zeraora had a really weird release schedule. So there's all kinds of things that could happen right there. Evolution of a Kanto Pokemon, that would be pretty sick, because that'd be like a little taste of potential Sinnoh remakes, or also just kind of seeing, yo, if we have Generation 8 and Pokemon get evolutions again, that is what everyone wants. That is like everyone's favorite thing, is Gen 4, when we just got a whole bunch of new evolutions for existing Pokemon. Everyone wants to see that again, so that's likely, but I wasn't even thinking about Mewtwo. Like, I was thinking about other Pokemon, like even Mewthree. Even if Mewthree isn't an evolution of Mewtwo, there could be a lot of cool story and stuff behind it. Now, what makes this really interesting to happen inside of Pokemon Quest is that we have the data mine. We have the data mine for Pokemon Quest showing us extra spaces, so hinting that there is at least room for future updates to add new generations of Pokemon. And here we have genetic Pokemon, new species Pokemon, and then the mystery final Pokemon is number 808, because Zeraora 807 got released in Japan, it's legit, but that's where the Pokedex ends. We don't have anything else past that. But then we have 808. For some reason, 808 is inside of Pokemon Quest. Now, we already know that's going to be in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and it's also going to be working with Pokemon Go. So Pokemon Go is going to get some kind of update that adds new Pokemon that's either an addition to Generation 1 or just a very early access Generation 8 Pokemon, or something wacky. We still don't even have any clue as to what Game Freak is up to. They dropped this crazy tease, and we are here months later still trying to figure out what is going on with it. But that means it also has compatibility with Pokemon Quest, another mobile game that has like these weird features, but if they want to keep updating it and they want to keep it in line with everything, then 808 is a Pokemon that will maybe exist at some point. So that's just kind of a strange thing to find inside of the data mine. But what about Mewtwo? Because that's why I was like, you know what, screw it, let's do this video. Even though like the Mewthree thing is really weird and it's not really super confirmed or debunked or anything, let's actually go and like check out some of the other gameplay. Because we actually see what it looks like to encounter Mewtwo, and it's pretty cool. So how do we take that a step further? This is the post game. This is the end game. This is going to be one of the final things that happens in Pokemon Red and Blue version, in Yellow version, in the original games. Now, as we saw with Fire Red, Leaf Green, you know, it goes even beyond that. Like, the Sevi Islands really add to the game. Now, I don't think we're going to get a feature like that. People are saying, oh, what about Orange Islands and Let's Go? Sevi Islands and Let's Go or something like that. Now, the Orange Islands could make sense to introduce a Alolan Pokemon, and I haven't really done discussion on that, because I did that discussion already for Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's like, oh, Sun and Moon is actually where the Orange Islands were. Some weird theory like 2.5 years ago. I don't remember. But when it comes to this, like, what other gameplay are they going to add? Because there's been a lot of teases. You know, you go through the interviews, you look at the information, and there's going to be more. Like, people are just saying that this is a dumbed down, simplified, restricted version of like main series Pokemon games, but there's still a lot more room for new features, and it's been confirmed there's new features that haven't been shown yet that are to be revealed at some point or just inside the game. So how are they going to expand the post game? Because that's one of the major complaints about any Pokemon game. Now, what I do like is also the upgrade on Cerulean Cave. This looks like the telling of Cerulean Cave that we see in Pokemon Origins. So the Pokemon Company is trying to get really specific with the game's lore and keep everything kind of, you know, going with that. But what happens if we add something? You know, if we look at this from a remake perspective, because we had we had Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which added the Delta chapter. So what happens after we catch Mewtwo? We go into a new chapter. We go into something else, because remember, there is going to be crossover to Pokemon Go. So Pokemon Go fans, if they get extra gameplay, it's not going to overwhelm them, because we're figuring, you know, there's not going to be a battle frontier, there's not going to be any kind of like super crazy competitive late game stuff, maybe, because this is more just everyone's Pokemon game, just a great experience for everyone to enjoy, and then to try to move the Pokemon Go players into the main series as we transition onto Nintendo Switch. So we are seeing just some really original features to kind of counter the power creep and all the crazy stuff that we've seen in generations 5, 6, and 7. So going back to, you know, everyone having their first nostalgic Generation 1 experience, no items, no abilities are looking to be like it, and then a different catching system. But what happens if, like, after you beat Mewtwo, there's more story? That's, like, the one question mark that is definitely possible, and why would, like, what if that is Mewthree? And that's how you get the new Pokemon and all these new transfer things and stuff. And we've seen other things like that. Rainbow Rocket being added into Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. There's a lot of possibility here, and I feel that we could take the story even further. So going on the official website, you know, it's kind of upgrading, or not kind of upgrading, it's kind of progressing. You know, we're learning about Kanto, we're learning about the story. Every trailer is giving us something a little new. You know, we're going through the gym leaders in order. Team Rocket brings the trouble, learning about it, what is a Pokemon gym, how to play, some of the new features that are also being shown off and added in right here. And yeah, by the time you make it to late game, you're going to be a pro. So maybe that's it. You know, it starts off slow, it looks like a bad game, but then it really goes and takes off, because we can already see from some of the other trailers that Pokemon are going to be higher level in the late game, that the trainers are going to be potentially 10 levels higher or more than what we see in Red, Blue, and Yellow version. Also, we've already seen this with Lieutenant Surge. That Lieutenant Surge, his Raichu, is over leveled. So it goes from, I believe Brock is the same level, Misty is slightly under level, and then Lieutenant Surge is over leveled on his Raichu. Because he also has 3 Pokemon. So he has like 3 higher level Pokemon, and then we go into, I think it's Route 21, or the Seafoam Islands, and then we have level 40 Pokemon on the trainers instead of level 30s. So with all that, it's going to creep up, and then boom, you just suddenly just kind of throw in like some kind of new storyline aspect, because hey, congratulations, you have graduated Pokemon Red and Blue version. You are now a Pokemon Master. Get ready for the main series with some super hardcore elements. And that'd be crazy if, like, instead of Giovanni going off into hiding, you know, remember, Mewtwo is Giovanni's creation that effectively just kind of like took off. Was like, you know what? I'm the most powerful thing ever. I don't like this dude just ruling over me. So what if, to make a better Mewtwo, you know, Mewthree, because Mewtwo was just a genetic like modification, the perfect Pokemon, the most powerful Pokemon in the world, created from the genetics of, or from like the genes and DNA of the most like legendary, secretive, powerful Pokemon. So you just make it stronger. What happens if Mewtwo is the experiment beyond that? Makes a lot of sense because of the power creep that exists in Pokemon so far. We have Arceus, effectively the god of Pokemon. We have Mega Evolutions on legendary Pokemon, so taking that another step further would be pretty cool, and also makes sense that if we get Mewtwo, we can use that to challenge Mewthree, because how else are we going to be able to get the power? We need to Mega Evolve our Mewtwo to stop Giovanni's new crazy creation, because who knows how long Mewtwo has been in Cerulean Cave at this point. We don't know what like the storyline is compared to Red and Blue version. We don't know if the years are going to pass in a different realm. We don't know how that story is going to be told. But that is something interesting to consider. I think that does make Mewthree a possibility. So I wanted to carry on this video because, like, that's an interesting idea. At first I got trolled, but then the information, like, at first I got trolled. Someone's like, hey, name it Mewthree, and then get your panties all in a bunch at the possibility. But no, he was sincere. And then I was like, you know, let's take this to another level of discussion. I think Mewthree is a possibility that isn't being discussed from the you'll meet a special Pokemon. And I think that's kind of it, you know, there's a lot of opportunity here, and it does make sense for the storyline, you know, if Rainbow Rocket can exist in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, then Giovanni can just kind of head back in and start building the next Mewtwo. Why would he have ever stopped? And that would make the lore so cool for the original Pokemon games. If it gets added in just like that, it's like, we thought we took him down, but instead of collapsing Team Rocket, he's just like, alright, no punk is going to beat me now. I'm going to make a more loyal, a more powerful, a Pokemon that will never disobey me and be the ultimate, just strongest Pokemon ever. And now we have to make it the ultimate strongest Pokemon ever compared to Necrozma, compared to Ultimate Necrozma, Mega Primal God Time Space Deities shenanigans. So I think we got some interesting stuff to keep an eye on, and that was a fun little discussion that I hope you guys enjoyed. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.